My master, no parent should ever hear what I must tell you. If this brings me closer to Allah, then it is not truly bad news.
The earth suddenly roared beneath them. What had been a joyful evening turned into a moment of terror as the house shook from side to side. The children struggled to stand, their hearts racing. Sometimes life can change without warning, and in those moments, faith becomes our strongest support. Fear filled the room. The children called to one another, reaching for their brothers and sisters as panic spread around them. In times of danger, we often realize how precious our loved ones truly are. A sharp, cracking sound echoed through the house. Lines spread across the walls, like lightning, growing wider with every passing moment. The danger was no longer approaching. It had arrived. Dust swirled through the room, turning clear sight into confusion. Voices became harder to hear, and the children searched desperately for one another. Sometimes in life's darkest moments, we cannot see what lies ahead, but Allah sees what we cannot. Then, with a thunderous crash, the great house gave way. Stone, wood, and dust fell together as the building collapsed. A tragedy had struck, and a test, far greater than the loss of wealth, had now begun. But the question remained, how would Ayyub respond when the news reached him? In a single terrible moment, a great cloud of dust climbed into the evening sky, as though the earth itself was crying out. Across the estate, people stopped and stared. Something unimaginable had happened. Yet far away, Ayyub still knew nothing. Sometimes life changes in an instant, before our hearts have time to prepare. Only moments earlier, that house had echoed with joy, laughter, and family. Now, an unsettling silence covered the ruins. The sounds that once filled the home had vanished. It is in moments like these that we remember a powerful truth. Every blessing is precious, and every moment with those we love is a gift. The silence did not last long. Villagers ran toward the shattered house, their hearts pounding with fear. Dust swirled around them as desperate voices called out through the darkness. Everyone hoped for good news, but deep inside, many feared what they might find. Among the confusion, several men broke away and ran as fast as they could. Ayyub had to be told. Their feet pounded across the earth, but each step felt heavier than the last. How could anyone carry news this painful? How could such words ever be spoken from a distant height? Iblis watched the dust hanging over the valley. He had already seen Ayyub remain grateful after losing his wealth. But this test was different. Surely now, he thought, Ayyub's patience would break. Yet the greatest trials often reveal the greatest faith, and the story of Ayyub was far from over.
My master, your children are gone. Your children are gone.
Then he whispered a prayer, not a prayer of anger, not a prayer of complaint, but a prayer filled with remembrance and trust. Even in his deepest sorrow, Ayyub knew that speaking to God brings peace to a wounded heart.
The children belong to God.
The words touched every soul in the courtyard. Ayyub loved his children more than anyone they could imagine. Yet, he understood a truth many people forget. Everything we cherish is ultimately a gift from God, not something we own forever.
He entrusted them to me for a time.
As Ayyub spoke, Memories of laughter, smiles, and precious moments filled his heart. He was grateful for every day he had spent with them. This is the lesson of gratitude, to treasure blessings while we have them, knowing each moment is a trust from God.
And he has the right to take them back.
The courtyard fell silent. Once more, these were not the words of a broken man, but of a believer who trusted God's wisdom, even when he could not understand the reason. Yet far away, Iblis listened with growing frustration. The loss of wealth had failed. The loss of children had failed. And Ayyub's faith still remained unshaken. The messenger could no longer hold back his tears. Iblis had expected anger, despair, perhaps even cries of protest. Instead, he had witnessed something extraordinary. Ayyub's faith was stronger than the tragedy that had struck him, and that realization overwhelmed him. One by one, the servants lowered their heads. No words seemed worthy of the moment. They had just seen a man lose his wealth and his children, yet remain devoted to God. Sometimes, the greatest lessons are not taught through speeches, but through actions. No one could understand such patience. The villagers looked at one another in amazement. How could a heart endure so much pain without breaking? Yet this is the difference between knowing about faith and truly living it. Ayyub trusted God, not only in times of ease, but also in times of hardship. Far away, Iblis burned with fury. His plan had seemed certain to succeed. Wealth was gone, children were gone, yet Ayyub's faith remained untouched. The very trials meant to destroy him had only revealed the strength hidden within his heart. His second attack had failed. Alone beneath the dark clouds, Iblis stood frustrated and defeated once again. But his pride would not allow him to stop. If wealth could not break Ayyub, and grief could not break Ayyub, then an even greater test was about to begin. And the hardest chapter of Ayyub's story was still ahead. Days turned into months. The pain of loss did not disappear overnight, but neither did Ayyub's faith. As seasons changed and time moved forward, he remained patient. Sometimes the greatest test is not a single difficult day, but staying faithful through many difficult days. Ayyub continued to remember God. Every dawn found him in worship, just as before. Loss had changed his circumstances, but it had not changed his relationship with his Creator. True faith is not measured when life is easy, but when hardship refuses to leave. Ayyub continued to help others. Though he had suffered greatly, he did not become consumed by his own sorrow. Instead, he continued to serve those in need. When we help others during our own struggles, we discover strength we never knew we had. Nothing could pull his heart away from God. Wealth was gone. His beloved children were gone. Yet the most precious thing he possessed remained untouched: his faith. The world can take many things from us, but only we can choose what happens to our hearts. Far away, Iblis watched in disbelief. Month after month he had waited to see Ayyub break. Instead, he saw a servant growing even stronger through every trial. Frustration turned into determination. If loss could not shake Ayyub's faith, then a far more personal test was about to begin.
Guidance from the Lord of the time. So, seek to live by the very proper values of our faith. You know what they are. Raise your children from the very beginning of their lives to live a proper, honest life. Show them, by your example, what integrity is, what kindness is, what compassion is, what helping others looks and feels like. Teach your children to live in faith, to live according to the ethics of our faith.